Good afternoon and welcome to Yorkshire Voice on Monday the 17th of March. I'm Johnny Holmes.
And I'm Courtney Brady. On today's programme, the Online Safety Act comes into force, which will impose fine and blocks on illegal sites. A colourful weekend at the Holy Festival in the heart of Leeds to mark the start of spring and new life, and painting the town green in a street parade to celebrate St Patrick's Day today.
But first, this week marks a major step forward in online safety. As of today, new Ofcom regulations will come into force, meaning that sites which fail to remove extreme and illegal content could face significant fine or be blocked altogether. It comes after growing criticism of Ofcom that it has taken too long to implement its rules, whilst being too trusting of tech giants to regulate themselves. The Online Safety Act is designed to tackle material including terrorism, hate speech, child abuse and extreme pornography.
We can now go over to our reporter, Thea Robinson, who's been finding out what people know about it.
Hi. So I'm outside here on the street of Leeds to kind of gauge what the public opinion is in regards to the Online Safety Act. Now, it has gone into effect today.
Apologies for the technical difficulties there.
That was Joe Bradley.
Now, thank you
When
very
you
much.
think about something as socially interactive like Roblox, do you think those limitations on your kid's identity being shared online could actually be really helpful?
I mean, I think in theory they would be really helpful. I don't actually trust that they would stop it happening. I think kids are very clever. They're very, very socially savvy, digitally savvy, and they will get around them. Is my opinion, is they will get around them really easily. If it limits their interaction with the game or limits something that they want to do, they will find a way around it. Oftentimes, I think so. I think in theory it's a really good idea. I think actually in practice and making it work and making it effective, I think it is quite difficult to do. I think it's a very hard thing to do in terms of regulating for children. I do think, I suppose the other, you could look at, the only thing is I was just thinking about how you police it. If you know, the problem is, I think if you set regulations and you say kind of the kind of providers like social media platforms have to stick with them, I just wonder how regulators are going to police that.
Yes, getting the opportunity to interview Joe and having a unique perspective on the issue from a parent was so invaluable. And it also shined a light on the anxieties that many modern day parents face when it comes to safeguarding their children online. Well, I will apologize for any technical difficulties, and I'll bring it back into the studio where we're going to learn more about the Online Safety Act from a social media platform perspective.
Thank you, Thea, and we apologise again for the technical difficulties. Now joining us in the studio is Carly Chadwick, Head of Trust and Safety Online Safety Advisors, Resolver in Leeds.
Thank you very much for joining us, Carly. Could you just give us a little bit of background about your role at Resolver and how do these new rules affect what you do?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. So, as you said, I'm the Head of Trust and Safety here at Resolver. Resolver has been founded in Leeds, so we are a Leeds-based company, and we have, over the past 20 years, been working in a variety of capacities with social media platforms themselves, search engines, regulators and the like, to mitigate online harms. So that is child safety, as you mentioned in your introduction, all the way through to, unfortunately, a variety of harmful things that are happening online. The Online Safety Act, coming into force today, is just another mechanism that Resolver and others in the industry can use in a positive way to help not only our clients, but most importantly, children who are increasingly nowadays the victims of all of these harms that are taking place on platforms and on the internet.
Yeah, thank you for that. So on that, who decides what is harmful content and how are those parameters kind of set, and then who goes about kind of deciding that that is going to be included in the Online Act?
Good question. So the Online Safety Act is UK based only. There are similar legislations taking place globally. Australia has their own, Germany does, and they have been enforced for several years now. We know the internet is global. Risk, however, tends not to be. What is a risk in Germany, for example, is not necessarily going to be the same in Australia, New Zealand, etc. So those parameters can differ from platform to platform, from legislator to legislator, looking at it from country to country. Generally speaking, within the industry, we treat it much more on a collaborative approach, so that there is a general understanding of if what hate speech is going to be on one platform, that it would apply across the board, but there does tend to be nuance.
I just wanted to quickly ask about how this is going to be enforced as well, with Facebook reporting £62 billion net profits. Are these fines that are going to be introduced in the Act going to make any difference?
The fines are there to enforce the rules. I wouldn't want that to be the focus. The main aim of the Act is to protect users, most importantly, protect children. The focus really should be on that collaborative approach. This is a big legislation, but it's a new legislation. We've not had something like this in the UK ever before. We know it's going to take some time for platforms to get used to what this now means, but also for users to get used to what this now may mean for them interacting with platforms and interacting with functions. Certainly for the next few months, potentially the next few years, I would anticipate that the focus is more on getting those risk assessments in from a platform perspective to see what is it that they can improve on, or what is it that they're already doing a really good job on. And that is where Resolver comes in. We are there to advise those platforms and advise those clients what is it that they can be doing to mitigate these criminals and these bad pieces of content from being there in the first place.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for joining us, Carly.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Holy Festival took place over the weekend.
And what is Holy Festival exactly, Johnny?
Well, I actually went along with our reporter Charlie O'Brien to find out more and experience the celebrations.
Holi is the Hindu festival of colours. It's observed during the last full moon of the Hindu month of Falguna to mark the start of spring. Celebrated over a night and a day, the first night sees bonfires lit, but it's the second day of festivities which has become famous worldwide.
When I came back in 5 years before, it was just a small party, but then it goes on becoming massive and massive from year by year. As you can see, the queue over here, and it's like massive over years and years and years and years.
Participants cover each other in powdered paint, traditionally made from ingredients such as turmeric and flower petals. This is believed to be a reference to the legend of Krishna and Radha. Though its origins are in India, the festival is now celebrated across the globe.
He's my roommate, he's from Mumbai, but he's introduced me to people from all different states of India, from Punjab to Kerala to Nagpur, everywhere.
The Leeds version, which was held this Saturday at Testbed in the city centre, is believed to be the biggest Holi celebration in the UK. This year, the event attracted people from across the north.
It's really good, like we came from Preston all the way. It's like 2 hours, but it's really great. It's my first time, but the festival is really, really colourful.
For Yorkshire Voice, I'm Charlie O'Brien.
Yeah, it was so colourful and a really great event, and I've only just got all the paint out of my hair. Now, a busy weekend of sport. Over to Ahmed Sadallah for all the details.
Thanks, Johnny. It's been a busy sport weekend in Yorkshire indeed. Starting with the Championship, the Steel City derby saw Sheffield United come out on top, beating Wednesday 1-0 to move almost level with Leeds at the top of the Championship with 80 points. Leeds themselves had a dramatic weekend, coming back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with QPR on Saturday. In other news in football, the future of the Shea Stadium in Halifax is being discussed today by Calderdale Council. The meeting will debate 2 proposals for the stadium's future, with Huddersfield Giants owner Ken Davey interested in buying the Shea, allowing the club to play there temporarily from 2026 while a new stadium is built. Meanwhile, a supporters group has proposed the running of the Shea as a non-for-profit with need financial backing from the council. Councillor Danielle Durrans has said in a statement that although major financial pressures mean that it's no longer possible for the council to continue the running of the Shea Stadium, we understand how important it is for this facility and for the people in the borough. In discussing proposals for the Shea's future, we want to ensure that we can provide a long-term solution that will inspire proud clubs of FC Halifax Town and the Halifax Panthers and support their on-field success. That's all for Sport for right now. Back to Courtney.
Thanks, Ahmed. Now, throughout this fortnight, we'll be featuring some of the amazing people of Yorkshire and what they add to the county. In the late 18th century, Yorkshire was the epicentre of British industrial revolution, producing coal, iron, leather goods and fabrics.
Bradford-born photographer Ian Beasley has spent most of his life capturing the often overlooked lives of working-class heroes in the north of England. Sundus Abdi spoke with Ian about his work and how he has managed to capture the spirit of West Yorkshire.
Well, I would describe myself as a social documentary photographer with a particular connection, interest in the north of England and the representation of the working class. Everybody will tell you I'm a very proud Yorkshireman, and most of my work has been done within that region. I worked in industry when I left school, so I'm the last of my family, really, that's actually worked in industry and then progressed to something else. So I have a very strong connection, and I'd like to think I've got, you know, maybe a bit of an understanding. Are probably the pictures that I'm most known for, that become quite unexpectedly viral. The one of Dolly she was in a psychiatric hospital near Lancaster, and that picture I didn't exhibit for 12 years. I think what that comes back down to is, to some extent, the humanity that's in the picture and the dignity of Dolly, with a heartbreaking story of how ill treated she was by society. You don't necessarily think about that when you're taking the picture, and it's just that it becomes layered with these people's interpretations and people's connection to it. And I photographed the mill when it was working, photographed it when it went into closure, when it became derelict, when it got taken over. So I've been lucky in the fact that I've worked with the mill and the people who've owned that mill for over 40 years, which I think it's such an appropriate place for my work to be shown. At the end of the day, it's a very strong sense of community. It's a strong sense of, to some extent, tolerance, acceptance, and a sort of pride of where you're from.
The wonderful Ian Beasley there. And now, Sunday saw the annual St Patrick's Day Parade take over Leeds City Centre.
Our reporter Raj Kaur was on the scene yesterday to see the celebrations.
Yeah, we're here in Leeds City Centre at Millennium Square, where, as you can see, we've got the St Patrick's Day Parade coming back up to the square behind us. Everyone is having an amazing time. It's an electric, buzzing atmosphere, and there's lots of fun to be had. It's been a great day for everyone.
Thousands of people packed out the parade route, which started at Millennium Square in the morning. Floats of dancers and performers made their way around the city centre before circling back to the square where live music entertained the crowds through to the afternoon.
It's our first St Patrick's Day Parade and the first time St Benedict's School in Garforth have had a float. So all the children are having a brilliant time. It's a brilliant atmosphere, we're having a great day.
Well, I've enjoyed being on all of the rides and seeing out the floats and all of the people waving the flags.
The event was put on by Leeds City Council and the Leeds Irish Centre and helped to raise money for St Gemma's Hospice, a local charity who provides support and palliative care for people in Yorkshire.
We are now joined by Sinead Ferry, who's from Donegal in Ireland and who is completely fluent in Irish. In fact, it's actually her first language. So welcome, Sinead.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on today. And I'd just like to ask, how would you normally celebrate St Patrick's Day?
Usually I would just spend the day pretty much in the pub having a few drinks. But yeah, it's really nice at home because we've got a lot of like traditional Irish music in the pubs and everything. So yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Have you been out celebrating this weekend while you've been here in Leeds?
I had a wee drink last night, but I've got some professional obligations, so I had to take it easier than I usually would.
Thanks. So, I've been told that you are going to try and teach us some Irish here today.
Yes, so I was going to teach you the phrase Happy St. Patrick's Day, but in Irish. So in Irish, we would say Le Féile Pedrig Honadich.
All right, let's nail this.
Let's
get this right.
We can
okay,
do this,
one more
Johnny.
time, one more time.
Le Féile Pedrig Honadich.
Le Féile Pedrig Honadich. How close were we?
That was quite close.
That was quite
Just
close.
a little slip at the end, but I'm happy with it.
I think we absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, me
Now
too.
let's go to Donny for the weather.
I think for the sake of our viewers, I'll stick to English. Good afternoon and happy St. Patrick's Day. It was a cloudy parade in Leeds yesterday with bouts of sunshine peeking through the clouds. Sunday turned into a chilly, overcast morning that was broken by scattered spells of sunshine and a high of 9 degrees. As this afternoon turns into the evening, dry air brought on easterly winds and they will clear the clouds but bring frost as temperatures are set to fall below freezing. And now we'll look ahead at the rest of the week. Temperatures will fall below zero again tomorrow night and we'll wake up to frost on Wednesday morning, but it will get milder from Wednesday on as we head into the equinox on Thursday, and we will officially move into spring with warmer nights than we've been used to, but showers predicted for the weekend. And that's it for the weather. Back to Johnny and Courtney.
Sounds like a mixed bag. Thanks, Adonis. That's all we have time for today. We will be back at the same time tomorrow at 4 p.m.
And if you want to stay up to date on all the region stories, please do follow us on our social media pages and don't forget to join us tomorrow. I'm Johnny Holmes.
And I'm Courtney Brady.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.